Hey, what's up guys? Snow's here, and no, today we're not talking about the news. In fact, I was on the best-selling Amazon.com list to look for gifts for, friends, nephews, and stuff like that, and I saw this. The Redragon S101 wired gaming keyboard and mouse combo RGB backlit gaming keyboard with multimedia keys, wrist rest, and you get the point. And I bought it. So let's review that thing. So let's see what $35 USD gives you. By the way, in Canadian money, it's about $50, and the kit includes a full-sized keyboard and a gaming mouse. Actually, it's a gaming keyboard also. Anyways, let's see what's inside that box. So, we got a keyboard, a mouse, and nothing else. So this is the keyboard. Ooh, that's a little flimsy, okay? I'm not gonna lie. The cable is, plastic, not braided, nothing. Personally, I don't mind if it's not braided. It's actually a little pet peeve of mine because sometimes the braids, kind of like this, are a little too stiff. All right, let's see how this thing feels and or sounds. Yoink. Let's see. Right under the microphone. Oh, that's nice and mushy. Okay, look guys, I know there are hundreds of keyboard reviews out there, and my goal isn't to review the, 100 plus, give me a sec. And my goal is not to review the $100+ Varmillo or, custom keyboards with bang bong switches and lubed like a freaking uncatchable pig. And that's because these kinds of things can destabilize a build's price. And I know that you might not want to build your keyboard from scratch, or you just want to gift someone a cheap keyboard, which is why starting now, I'm gonna try to show here what is the affordable side of things. The Amazon gems, mechanical or not, that are built for your build without breaking your bank. This is not mine and this is not mine. I just borrowed it from Hardware Canucks to make a point. I'm sorry, Mike, I touched your keyboard when you weren't there. So let's get back to the actual review at hand. And while some hate it, cheap membrane keyboards are not always bad. Most of the time they're water resistant, they're more silent, they're lighter. So what about this one? Well, real quick, build quality wise, it doesn't feel super durable, but let's be real, it's not the end of the world. Just don't put this thing under your car tire and you should be fine. As for the size, once again, it's a full-sized keyboard with some extra features. It has a Windows Explorer button, a search button, a refresh button, a mail button, calculator, home, and for the audio video, it has stop, pause, forward, and back. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of audio control, dedicated keys for audio control. This doesn't have it. You can activate it through the function keys, but I don't really like that. I prefer one-handed operation. That's why the Corsair keyboards with a little roly-poly on the top right is definitely my favorite way of controlling sound. Now, what about the keys? I mean, I showed you a little bit earlier what it sounds like, but how do they feel? Well, membrane keyboard have a very particular feel. They're still switches, just membrane, and they're pretty heavy. These especially are very heavy. Some people like higher actuation forces. I prefer mine constant and lighter, so I don't like blue switches, for example, on a mechanical keyboard. And of course, this is a membrane keyboard after all, so the bottoming out is a little mushy, and it springs back with you with force. Now, once again, this is not a bad thing, because thanks to that, it's actually pretty silent. And if you game at night and the walls are thin, this is kind of what you want. As for the ergonomics, part of it is suggestive. Like for example, the keys on a mechanical keyboard usually go in an arc that kind of dip down towards the home row. In this specific keyboard, it's flat, kind of like on a laptop. Some actually prefer that, it's just not for me. The wrist rest, if you can call it that, I'd say it's more of a chin. Well, it's just plastic and it's pretty uncomfortable. I would prefer no chin so that I could use my own cushion like I do for work. I tried to put a cushion under this one, but it's just a little too long so my fingers don't really reach. Also, it's the worst plastic texture I've seen in a long time. At least, and I have to give it big props for that because the texture of the plastic is more about the looks than the actual workability, the usability of the keyboard. You have legs. So you can go from flat, well, slightly angled to slightly more angled. Then there's the keycaps. I actually really like the soft touch type of material that they have on the keys. My Razer keyboard actually has this. It's pretty nice. But they seem like they're painted ABS. I say that because, well, if you take off the keycaps, there's paint between the keys around the white area. So it looks like it was sprayed directly onto the back plane of the keyboard. Now, on the box, they do say that the keycaps are laser engraved and never wear keycaps. While I do doubt this claim, it would take months of abuse for it to even start to fade out. So I'll say it's all good because I really like the feeling of these keys. What about the RGB? Well, I mean, it's a gamer keyboard, right? Sorry for the flickering, but you can probably tell. The RGB is not the best I've seen. It does let you see the keys, which is great, especially at this price point. So there's that, but it's not great. It's zone lit, so no per key illumination. There are about a dozen zones as far as I can tell. And I mean, look at this. Half the keys in this section aren't even lit up. But bonus points because it does have a great font. It's not too gamery, not like those that the O's and zeros look alike, or they look like open bracket, close bracket. And I know I criticize the keycaps and the RGB pretty hard, but dude, this is $35 with the mouse included. So despite what I said, for the budget that this comes in at, it's a pretty good combo. Oh, and the mouse, let's not forget it. We'll talk about it right after a sound test for the keyboard. Let's do that. All right, so let's talk about the mouse. At a glance, it looks like a very generic gamery model, and that's because it is very, very gamery. I mean, look at the spikes. You could cut a knife with it, cut an apple with it or something. It has a very grippy texture on the mouse's main buttons and body. Mike over at Hardware Canucks tried it out and he actually likes this. The only thing is that texture like this might rub off. In the long run, you'll be left with two glossy spots. And while it's made of cheap plastic on the sides, it's a pretty solid mouse. Feature-wise, you got your usual forward and back button, a stepped scroll wheel, and adjustable DPI switch with 800, 1600, 2400, and 3200. And look at this, it's kind of cool. It's been a while since I've seen this. It has a revolver chamber. I'm kidding, it's a, what's it called? Adjustable weight system with 2-gram increments, so you can tune your mouse's weight. And since we're on the bottom, it has the usual Teflon pad, so it slides pretty good. So yeah, it's a very basic mouse that would do the job for a gamer. Now, I know I just unboxed it for you guys, but I've been using this combo for about a week. I just put it back in the box for the video. For work, it did perfect. I had no issues. I appreciated all of the function buttons. It just was a little bit of an ergonomic hit and miss for me personally. Besides that, I mean, it's a keyboard. It does what it's supposed to. And the value, so far, I mean, I'm gonna review other keyboards, we never know, can't be beat. It has most features that you could want. I'm still really sad about the volume button up and down, but at least you can do it with a function key. Plus, if you were looking for a keyboard and a mouse, you get both, no frills, all in one package. Now here are the cons. If you're looking to do esports, they are way too heavy feeling for esports. When I say esports, I'm talking about any competitive FPS or MOBA. The key pressing is pretty hard, which means that after a couple of days, I did get a little bit tired. Second thing, cable drag. That mouse, oh my God, the cable is so stiff, look. It's all up in the air. And I guess the last cons, because the mouse is great besides for the cable, the last con would be A, not knowing when the surface finish would rub off for the keycaps, and B, the little chin here, but that's a personal gripe. So that's really if you wanted to buy this set. But what if you wanted to buy them separately? Well, there are other options that I intend to review. But this is the #1 selling keyboard on Amazon right now. Now that you know about this one, if you guys have any alternatives, please put it in the comments down below. I'll definitely check it out, and if it's cheap enough and you know the reviews are decent, well, I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna rank it up here. We'll call this the top keyboard budget something list 2022. Name pending. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed my first ever review. Leave me some feedback down below if you'd like. As usual, you can click right here to see the latest video and right here to subscribe to the channel. Stay frosty, my dudes, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.